And today, we're going to talk about a thing called New Historicism.
From the literature that you're reading right then.
See, I like that.
Yeah. Conrad writes this history.
Oh, Conrad! Conrad! Oh, see, this was our book of the book. Books of the
From what very well done historicism. Wait, did you guys notice my essay in the back?
We
about
see, that's why we called you. We read these essays, and out of all of them, we liked yours the most. Because you look like my grandson.
It is the only one that makes sense.
I'm a honest, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Thomas, I had a few questions. I was a little bit confused in your essay.
You got any sweet love?
No, I'm good. I'm excited. Now, in your essay, you talk a lot about this so-called the other, and you mentioned that quite throughout the entire essay. And I had a few questions.
Like Lost? Like the people on Lost?
Yeah.
Robert, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
They're people. They're people.
Alright. But on find it in here. You claim in this one part of your essay that the other is talking about in the book, in Joseph Conrad's book, he's talking about how the Africans are the other, but you claim that the Europeans are the actual others, and that it is the monster living inside of them.
Well, yes.
Is that true?
Well, see, that's not what I took from the book.
See, what I interpreted was that when he wrote it, see, the Africans were already there, which means they're the first ones there. Now, they were living for ages and ages there. They're not the other. The European came, and so, you have something to say?
No.
He's not even finished. I think
The Europeans are the other. They're the one who changed the Africans, and they're the one who changed, they wrote this Conrad wrote the story in the European's view, and it was so bad because Europeans came there. Like, Africans weren't having troubles before they got there.
That makes so much
They
more
just didn't want to
sense.
reveal it to them.
Okay. So you have to look inside to find the
Yes.
other, though. That's
Yes.
what you were claiming?
In the literature, you can find.
Holy moly.
So how does the other relate to New Historicism? How does this all tie in together, guys? See, I kind of thought, I was thinking that New Historicism, since it's about the analysis of history, maybe it should be from the outsider's perspective. I mean, the insider's perspective, right? So you have to look through the eyes of the natives, maybe. That's what I took from the book.
That's not what I took.
That's not what you took from the
New
book.
Historicism, you actually look through the eyes of the author who wrote
Author?
the names in there. Yes.
The author?
The author created history by writing the story.
Joseph Conrad.
Yes,
Okay.
Conrad did.
All right.
Conrad wrote history?
Conrad wrote this book.
Oh,
Wait, did you write history?
I think I
Your
did.
sister act together.
Created history.
Okay. Wait, now, as a new historicist, we do not believe in the direct flow of history. I see history as an evolutionary process.
So you're saying that history evolves while we learn it.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So,
Oh, go ahead. Finish, Robert. No, finish.
so maybe by reading this book, we learn more about history, and through our perspective, we create history. Yes. Yes. So what do you think about that?
To read a story, like in your historicism view, you have to be like as you're reading through the book, like each page, you have to be asking yourself the question, like what's important historically and politically, like what's related to this. You need to ask that question, and if as you're reading that, if you repeatedly ask that question and answer yourself, then you should get new historicism through it. You should find history within the book. That's what Conrad's trying to relate.
But I should not go into this book with my prior knowledge,
No,
right?
no.
Will
You should
that
not go in
affect
there.
how
You should
I
not go
view
in
the
there
book?
believing something about the history, because then you'll get something different from what Joseph Conrad's trying to convey.
Maybe because the history was written by the Europeans, right? So that in this book, if we look through the eyes of, if we talk about history, then we're only getting the European side of the
Yes.
story. Whereas Conrad's trying to give us the side of the story from the native perspective. It all fits together. Okay.
This book is blowing my mind.
So how does New Historicism help us view history in a different light? Like how does this change our perspective on history? What do you
Well,
guys
history, like in the past, we've been looking at it's called new history because there used to be an old history. The old history, we look back at facts and we know like this is this, and it's just because. New history is we look back and we ask why. Why is this?
Oh.
Why is this fact a fact?
Like how all the little things come together
Yes.
to make that one important thing.
Okay. So this is a relatively recent theory, correct?
Yes, it is.
What do you think caused the rise of New Historicism?
Probably when people were looking back and they saw something, they were like, They asked themselves, okay, that's a fact. That's history. Why?
Why is that?
Why?
And then that's
Why?
New Historicism.
Weren't you mentioning something about your friend Mark?
As Barbara Walters, you all know, my personal hero is Karl Marx. And I kind of saw a little bit of this, a little bit of his ideas in Joseph Conrad's book. See, maybe they had some similar theories, and I think kind of maybe they both relate to New Historicism.
Actually, they had some similar theories, but they actually did have a different view on New Historicism. Like right here I wrote, Conrad offers a narrative in which human labor hides us from the truth and human experience. Now, Marx constructs a narrative in which human beings quite literally make history through their labor. So they did have differing views, but